Hey, welcome back to Bro Can We Talk? I am joined today by one of my dearest friends. I don't say that lightly, but this man is somebody that over the past decade plus has been a sounding board, a example. He would not be my mentor. I did ask him, but he's such of a dear friend. He views us as equals, but I just appreciate this brother's presence in my life, and I'm excited to have him here today on the podcast. I'm joined today by my good friend, Dr. Kendall Taylor.
Hey, salute.
Yes, sir.
Salute.
I appreciate you, friend.
I love you, bro.
Let me read off. I'm not going to read the whole bio, but I am going to read.
That.
Yes, sir. Because I know you're not a man who, and I just heard this recently. You're not a man who lives on these laurels, but you live in the future. You live ahead of what's already been accomplished.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And I know that sometimes hearing the things you have done now puts this wall up that you have to live up to. And I know that's a lot.
Yeah.
Even for someone as kingly as yourself, sir.
Respect.
But Dr. Kendall Taylor is the co-founder and CEO of Salute First Academy of Men, an organization committed to guiding men toward authentic leadership and personal growth. Through their E1 program, Salute First reaches men across diverse settings, from schools to prisons, helping them confront issues like false masculinity and develop a sustainable foundation in leadership and manhood. After overcoming personal challenges and transforming his own life through hard work and strategic leadership, Dr. Taylor now channels his experience into empowering others, especially through Salute First Global, a nonprofit dedicated to vocational training in underserved communities. Residing in Charlotte, North Carolina, he is a devoted husband and father of 4. And again, he is one of my most dearest friends. Please welcome Dr. Kendall Taylor.
Hey, man. Salute. Let's cook.
I want to start off, bro, asking you about your personal leadership journey. Mm-hmm. You've often spoken about leadership and manhood. Can you share some of the key leadership principles that have shaped your life?
Without a doubt, man. Elite followership is a very important piece. Y'all hear me okay?
I just want to make sure.
Elite followership. We, as men, naturally gravitate towards power, authority, ownership, the crown. But I go back to something Solomon said when he was given the kingdom of his father, King David. He said, the Most High said, ask me of anything and I'll give it to you. And he said, man, I don't know how to rule this. I don't know how to handle this type of inheritance. This is more than a death benefit, a 401k being bestowed upon me. You giving me the kingdom. He said, give me knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And that stuck with me. And that's the only things that I pray for. I don't pray for things or to hit a certain gross number. If I got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, I'll be able to navigate in any habitat that he puts me in. And so I learned that in an indirect way because I was a follower all my life. Wanting to be accepted, wanting to be loved, wanting to be engrafted in, grouped in. And that's what led me down the path of some of my greatest mistakes is following. Mm-hmm. But I also realized as I got into entrepreneurship, becoming a father, becoming a man of awareness and identity, I also need something to mirror after. I need something to follow. A lot of us are trying to become men that we've never seen before. There's no man in my bloodline who's walked to the mailbox in my shoes. Right. And so therefore, not having a mentor, we call it virtually killing excuses, whether it's through a book or a course or a training platform where you take these bits and pieces to kind of curate and transform a power range of your own definition of a man to become that which you are. So I think learning how to following the right demonstrations is key. The next step I would say is study. You have to be in a perpetual state of study. One of the blessings that happened to me in my life is I didn't get your typical high school diploma and college degree because I've seen so many people get that master, that doctorate through the traditional sense, and you think you've arrived.
And then turn it off.
You think now the world owes you something. Right. The world don't owe you scratch. And because I didn't go through those chambers, I'm in a perpetual state of study and development and growth and self-reflection and introspection. And I think that also keeps me sharp. And so study is a huge component. Humility. We're seeing it right now without having that conversation. Being able to lead with humility, I think, is the hallmark of elite leadership, man.
Yeah.
Um,
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that? Because I know exactly what you're hitting at is that there's the undertone of I've never had my moment. And when I get my moment, it's my time to pump my chest. Right. And so we're definitely seeing that from, listen, and this goes from chain restaurant management all the way up to the highest level. And I'll just say it that way, the highest level.
That's an easy answer. What happened? Okay, so for a particular season, Jeff Bezos, he led Amazon, right? But what happened when them folks strike? You start to realize your power is only endowed to you by those who serve you.
The people.
The people are your power.
Yes,
it's not you. You have a title.
That's right.
And the power in your title is contingent upon those who are willing to carry out your directives. I learned that with Metro back when, you know, when I was cutting my teeth in Metro. I got 100-something trucks and vehicles out there. I can't drive them.
Sure.
I go to a company and I make a pitch or I present an RFP and I say, we can do this. I'm the CEO. We can do this. I can't do or promise or commit to anything that they're not willing to carry out. So therefore, their well-being, their mental health, their financial stability, their economic mobility have to be important to me in order for me to stand with that title that I have. So that's why humility is important, because when you lead with a lack of humility or a character deficiency, you'll find out very quick how much power you have in your me moment.
John Maxwell talks about the 5 levels, the different levels of leadership, and positional leadership being what seems like in society the highest because he's the manager, he's the GM. When in actuality, positional is literally the very first rung, because you've yet to get relationship and the buy-in of the people that you're referring to.
Correct.
Kendall, let me ask you, as the CEO of Salute First, what inspired you to create this organization, and how has it impacted men seeking guidance in leadership and business?
We got 600,000 people coming out of prison every single year. Now, I want y'all to think about this. Coming out. I don't know the numbers of how many going in or are in. How many are fathers? How many are sons, brothers? There's a pandemic of a character deficiency. And there's also a gap between resources and making them available to those who need it. So I use a street terminology, like back when you was hustling, like anybody will sell you some crack. I sell you a brick. But me teaching you how to whip, that's a whole nother ball game. It's better for me for you to buy that block hole, because I know I'm going to go get it pure. I'm going to step on it. I'm going to make way more because I know how to whip. That's our terminology versus give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, teach him how to fish, right? But when you start talking that terminology with those who have a criminogenic experience, they understand and resonate with it more. So therefore, bringing that back together, we realize the dude on the street corner, he may not be able to digest John Maxwell.
Right.
He may not be able to digest Stephen Covey. He may not be able to digest Amos Wilson. He has a desire for it. So then you flip it to Edward Du Bois, the talented 10. Some of us, we have a responsibility to climb those intellectual mountains, to break through those barriers and that political red tape, to get something, not for a me moment, but to go remix it and show them how to whip. And so we realized just going into prisons, just speaking and teaching, going into schools, that it was resonating and connecting. But then we needed a program that had structure, that had the analytics, that had an expected outcome, that had things that we could measure. And so it really just happened organically. I was just going into these areas, man, just with a desire to see young men, returning citizens, get that opportunity that I had to fight to get on my own, and help them navigate through a lot of the landmines that I fell victim to. And so we created Salute First.
I remember when we met, you were just getting home from sitting down for a little minute, and which is public knowledge.
Oh yeah.
But I remember then you were going into the prisons, and I can understand with your heart for people, your ability to look people in the eye, which is a basic skill of a real man, and them being well received in that environment Tell me about going into the schools. How was that received when you first presented it to them? Because I know that there's a need for men to show up in school. What was the reception you got?
I told them off the rip, man, I'm disruptive. And I mean that in a good sense. You got disruptive like I'm going to tear your family down, or I'm saying your family dynamic is not working. Let's remix it. Let's flip it up on its head. So when we went to the schools, man, it was really a no-brainer because we had structure, but there was still some reluctancy to create disruption. So I said, bet, let's run a pilot. Let us show you that we can do that, which we do. And so a particular school, man, gave us 50 boys. And of course, they're going to give you 50 boys. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to give you the ones that are 3.8 and no issue. And honestly, those ain't the ones we want. We want to prove this thing works.
Yes, sir.
Those 50 boys turned into 21 schools. You know what I'm saying? And we got them from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yes,
we just brought on a school in Arkansas, El Dorado. We've seen them city funded, state funded, federally funded. We're in areas that's still under deseg regs. We have, you know, colleges. But the thing about it is everybody's looking for some kind of system or a group that can solve a problem. And the problem is these young men. Their engagement, their educational acumen, above all their character. Yeah. And so we come in, man, with a completely different disruptive model that does not compromise the ethics, the universal laws, the principal laws, the eternal truths. But again, we bring it in a cultural evidence way that resonates with them, that's easy for them to digest to give them that lift.
I love it. I love it.
And now we proving. So now it's about, you know, it's just about how's this school gonna fund it? How this gonna fund it? It's no more
about scale.
Can we do what we do? Now it's wide open.
Yeah.
Now it's wide open. Yeah. Now we staffing. Now we putting in the best technology. Now we're working on our foundational aspects. Now we're working on how we can franchise the model. Now we're talking about mitigating risk and liability. Now we're in a whole different space now.
It sounds like we this is me. We had no conversation about this, but it sounds like there's a 9-figure exit on the horizon.
Exit, maybe that's up to the Most High, but we definitely know our value.
Come on, sir.
And I hate to say it like this, but I realized in my prayer time, you can have a charitable and philanthropic effort or initiative, but it still needs to have a sophisticated business model to be sustainable.
Yeah.
And so when you go into a school and you let them know we're training that young man for an entire year for less than the cost of a pair of Jordans, how can you say no?
How can you say no?
How can you say no?
Especially when you've seen the fruit that it produces.
You see that it works. And so I say that to say, sadly, our demographic shows no signs of receding.
Yeah.
Sadly, right? This ain't like Coke trying to compete with Pepsi. Unfortunately, based on the things that are going on in our culture and that we have a one-of-a-kind innovative approach, it's wide open for Salute First.
Talk about being an answer in a time that is needed. Indeed. So let me ask you, bro, tell us about your lowest point in life and the steps that you took to rise from that.
Man, I've had so many lowest points.
And I knew you was going to say that.
Man, I've had some low points, man. I've had low points as a father. I've had low points as an entrepreneur. I've had low points as a husband.
Yeah.
My lowest, give me a second. My lowest point. Yeah. Where was I at? Oh, was I in Oconee or Jackson? When my son came and seen me and I was facing that time. That was my lowest point. That was my lowest point because you watch all these gangster flicks and putting a pound up to the glass and ain't nothing poetic about your son unable to touch you and he sees you stripped down of everything that made you a king in his eyes and everything you taught and showed him and had built yourself into and identified yourself with this persona, this facade is gone. And you don't know how to live as a man without it. You don't know how to live as a man if you're not selling drugs. You don't know how to approach a woman when you ain't got that swag. You don't know how to stand with your back straight when you ain't got fiat in your pocket. That was a very low point for me.
Especially, I would imagine, growing up without an active father and then being in a very aware, because you had Trey when you were 17, 15. Very young, 15, but you were so aware of how valuable you were to him This was something that was on your heart. So in that moment, I can understand that that would be something that just hits you harder than anything the judge or anybody else could say about you.
That moment changed my life, man. You know, because prior to that, man, I've been arrested so many times and charged and make your bail, beat your case, find a technicality. You know, you get locked up. Oh God, if you get me out of this, I won't never do it again. You right back active.
Yeah.
This was that moment when I realized, man, this is really a trap. You done bought the bad work. You done got robbed. You done got flexed. You done got snitched on. I done went through all of that stuff. People writing statements on you to buying bad work. I realized this ain't it. And what was scary was it's not like the Most High said, okay, I'm gonna show you what I'll give you if you let this go. No, he said, let it go. And I had no understanding as what was next. I just know how I just racked up my third felony.
Yeah.
I done knocked on those doors. I done had them slammed in my face. I done had the callbacks. I done got the jobs and had them taken from me. I didn't know what was next, man. I didn't know that my life, my family, my wife, that wasn't promised to me. I had to step out there into the abyss and just say, I know I ain't going that way no more. And that was a scary time, but I also found out my courage and my leadership and my true identity walking into the unknown, man.
It was necessary. And we talked about this a little bit when we were off camera. It's so necessary, but it sure as hell doesn't feel like it.
It's terrifying.
You know that it's necessary, but it's not knowing, right? It's the not knowing.
That's the hallmark of Salute First. When we go into these schools or we go into these prisons, we let them know, we want you to understand we're asking these men to go through an identity crisis. So you bringing us under the guise of character development and behavior, you know, what do you call it? Behavioral health and all these things. Okay, these taglines, these buzzwords, this jargon. But what in essence you're asking us to do, and they don't realize that their eyes get so big when I say that. I said, you do understand we're going to take your students through an identity crisis, because when we give them the game and perspective realignment and these principles and these strategies, they still go back home into an environment where their mother thinks at a lower level.
That's right.
They still go back into an environment where their brother is operating at a low level of consciousness, and they have to navigate that. Because when we in this class dynamic, we all salute first. It's the academy, it's the game. But when you go home, you face it.
You're constantly reminded of who you were.
You're alone.
Nobody at home has been through this Salute First program.
And then you walk home, and now you're measuring what dad says. You're measuring what mom said. You're measuring what your girl say. You're measuring what your teammates say. It could be the
identity crisis is ongoing.
That's why one of the sections is identity crisis confrontation. We are very clear on what's going on, because when you start, we say all the time, man, you think if you change your behavior, your vernacular, your posture, you pull your pants up, you pull up to the cookout in that 550 Benz, you think everybody gonna celebrate you?
Promise you they won't.
No. They're gonna ask you for a handout. They're gonna judge you. Oh, he think he. That's what you asking them to do. You're trying to save their life and show them their greatness and their potential, but you also run the risk of losing everything that they know to be true. That's not an easy thing to ask them to swap out realities. And that's why we have to take a very methodical and a psychological and a proven approach, man, to walking them through this, because this is not a game, bro.
Yeah.
This is not a game.
Manhood business. You got to forgive me. I'm processing, I'm interviewing, but in a somewhat similar space in the manhood and personal development space, I'm processing everything you're saying through that lens of caring and also seeing what's all involved in that growth for myself and for the individual I'm serving.
That's real.
And that's
the lift.
Yeah.
That's when you get rid of the attractiveness of how Salute First is growing and scaling, understanding what we do. Understand we go into an area where don't nobody know us, we don't have no relationships, we got no buy-in, and we pull up and we trying to shake the whole community. That's in essence what God is, challenged and empowered us to do.
Along that, let me ask you, because one of the challenges that we are facing as Bro Can We Talk is getting men to acknowledge the need for change. Other than the track record, what's attractive? What shifts a man from, I know I'm not perfect, to I really want to work on these things?
First off, man, we pick on ourselves. Excuse me. We pick on ourselves. I'm not going to go into unknown territory or prison I've never been into. Imagine this. Imagine I get called to speak into a prison. I got 45 minutes. They don't know me from a can of paint. You got 45 minutes to go and establish yourself, create a sense of commonality, create a thread of relation, establish authority. It's somebody that they should listen and acknowledge, build rapport, transparency, have a breakthrough.
This is a lot.
It's a lot.
In 45 minutes.
I'm facing 30 years, man. I'm locked up. My daughter just got raped. I'm locked up. My mother died. I couldn't go to her burial.
Yeah.
My public defender ain't returning my phone calls. My homeboy just snitched on me. My baby mom just said I could never see my kids again, and she moved and will not tell me where they at. I can't.
The real trenches.
This is real life, man. Yeah. This ain't Netflix.
This ain't my team lost and I didn't hit the $1,200 parlay. This ain't that.
This is people going through real pain and suffering because they're behind those walls or in schools that people are not aware of, man. These males are suffering, man. And so we care so much, man, that we spend countless hours of time and study and research trying to understand how to break through that psychological muck and mire. And so what we realize is, man, when we transparent and we let you know with all the success and all the exposure that we had, man, let me tell you how I messed up last week. Let me tell you the struggles I went through with my wife 3 months ago. Let me tell you where I failed as a father. Let me tell you where I lost the bag. Let me tell you where my ego got in the way. That's the first place to start, is to, when we talk about meet them where they at, we think it's about driving down to the wrong side of the city. No, meeting them where they at is, do you remember that you effed up too?
Yeah.
Do you remember where you was at before you was sitting up in here? Do you remember where you was at before you got your together? And meeting them where they at is letting me come back to a place, man, where I was a piece of shit. Let me bring myself back to a place before I even let God into my life and say, man, I ain't got nothing to do with God. He ain't got nothing to do with me. Roll up in front of my mama. Let's go there and then show you how I got here. But most people don't want to do that because you don't want to get rid of your God persona, or you don't want to strip yourself of that which don't belong to you anyway. Man, we strip and get dressed all day long, bro.
That's one thing that I've always admired about you, is always being willing to show me your scars. And not just me, but just never phony, never fake.
We don't got that kind of time.
We do not.
We don't got that kind of time,
we do not. And I could give two shits what anybody thinks about me. And that's why, first, I have to realize that I've grown through what I've gone through. The bad decisions, the poor choices, all of it has helped me develop into what I'm becoming now. But I have to always, I don't have that kind of time, as you said. I cannot lie to myself first and foremost, and I cannot lie to anybody else.
Bro, I respect you and love you to the utmost, man, but I care less about what you think about me in this interview than me hearing, well done, my good and faithful servant. Because you wasn't there when you see what I'm saying? In those moments of my life, you wasn't there, he wasn't there, y'all wasn't there. So how am I going to sit here, man, and try to reach out for validation from come on, bro, well done, thy good and faithful servant. I made promises, man, before I beat that time. I made promises when my wife decided not to leave. I made promises when my son forgave me and gave me another opportunity to be a father. I made promises, man. Yeah. And I'm going to stand on kingdom business, bro. Now, it may look like the curb. It may look like the corner. But, man, this is the Most High and his redemption and his grace and mercy all day long. So you can put whatever you want into those comments. You can put whatever you want into those comments. I ain't never responded to nobody. What's he do for a living? He only married up for this. You don't even know the detail. You don't even know the balance sheets. Nor do I feel the need to go out there and prove you wrong. Well done, thy good. And that's what I'm chasing, bro. Because I know cats done got shot in the leg and left here, and I got a bullet in my lung, and I'm out here traveling the world. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. Servant, not leader. Well done, thy boss. No, well done, thy Casanova. No, well done, thy good and faithful servant. I'm chasing that, bro.
From my perspective, bro, you're serving at a high capacity, and you don't get your flowers often enough. You were you. For the record, Kendall was Kendall. When I first met him, Kendall was this Kendall before he met his beautiful wife And you mentioned it, so I want to transition into your marriage to Fantasia.
Mm-hmm.
You guys just celebrated 10 years.
Yeah, we did a dime, bro, the right way.
Salute to that.
We did a dime, bro.
You were at my house. You remember your boy was marinating chicken in the bag?
I do remember that.
So I got to marinate, y'all.
I do remember
24
that.
hours, I let him sit in the refrigerator.
I do remember
I give it
that.
a good massage with the Ziploc. Had your man knocked out on the couch.
I caught the items pretty quick. Yeah.
I remember, in hindsight, you and Fantasia were married and had not publicly disclosed it yet.
Yeah.
You've always been a private person.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked before about how you're not faded by the cameras and everything, because you guys are outside. Your wife is a star. Let's be real clear. Your wife is one of the greatest gifts.
Real talk.
I mean, on screen now.
Yeah.
Come on, Oscar.
You know what I love about this whole dynamic is y'all get glimpses.
Yeah. I know this is
y'all get reflections.
Yeah.
Like y'all never see the light. Y'all get reflections.
Talk about that, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you get the show.
Y'all get the show.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get the y'all really. I used to think I had to share my wife. Then I realized I don't.
You get the real.
I get what y'all can never imagine.
What we get is her operating in her gifts.
Y'all get functions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all get functions.
Okay.
I get the woman.
That's good.
That's something she does.
That's right.
She did a movie.
She can do.
Thank you. She does an album. She does a show, but she is a wife. Mm-hmm. She is a mother. Mm-hmm. She is a servant of the Lord. Mm-hmm. I get the is's. Y'all can have the dudes. Because it is what it is. You understand me? And so the way that somebody may get captivated by her performance, I'd be like, she performs every day for me. Whether it's how she greet me in the morning or home cooked meal or bringing me my plate or folding my clothes or making sure I eat or things I shall not say here. Or I'm always on tour.
Yeah.
And none of y'all can get tickets.
Hey.
It's a private show and a private viewing.
I love that.
So, yeah.
I love that.
We get to do it.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
You know
he
what
said,
I'm saying?
y'all get the doing, I get the is.
I get the is.
I love that.
I get what she is. Y'all get what she do.
Yeah.
I get what she is.
Being a private person, having her who does a public thing, you guys have navigated all types of slander. How do you maintain your peace of mind and your integrity in the face of all of this?
Knowing who you are, man.
Yeah.
Knowing who you are. We don't get caught up in that stuff. She ain't caught up in it, bro.
Yeah.
When them lights go off, we get in the Sprinter, it's back to what it is.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like you may have some people who take it home and wear it at the family reunions and want everybody to. And so I had to give kudos to her, and that's why we collab and love so beautifully, man. Is that we know the world will tear you right back down in a minute, man.
They don't
like
care
it's
about
good
you.
when it's good.
They don't care about you.
They don't care about you. They care about what you produce and what you provide.
What have you done?
And so,
right now?
Boom. Let me do it this way. When I was talking to my wife, we've been through this so many different times.
Yeah.
Put something out there, say something right, and you see a negative comment. Give that negative comment some energy if you're going to give the 15,000 some energy to. If you're not going to take the time to give that energy to the 15,000 positive comments, why am I going to reach out, break the fourth wall, and give some energy to this one negative comment? It's a numbers game.
That's
so I've had way more people salute me, honor me, and see that which I produce in my family than somebody worrying about something that they don't know. You clearly not a fan, because if you just look at the beginning and look at now, you can tell that I'm a loving husband.
Oh, yeah.
So why I need to jump in that chat and give you what you desire, which is to come into our space? You ain't earned that, man.
Listen, if you guys want to get to know Kendall, who he is, the part that he has let us in on as the public, Go check out Taylor Talks.
That's your best bet because I ain't giving you much else than that.
Listen, you guys gave a lot on your podcast, and I appreciate you guys. Because let's keep it a band, bro. You one of my best friends, but we don't hang out. And I'm blessed.
I hang out with a lot of people, bro.
Well, and I'm not saying I'm not coming at you that way. I'm just saying I don't want anybody to be confused that we're still doing cookouts every weekend. You guys are like life is.
We on the go. Shit, we ain't doing cookouts every weekend. Like, we said that the other day, and I was like, "Yo, babe, we getting burnt out. Like, we need to plan a trip or do something, man, because like our family is an enterprise, man. It's like you got so much stuff going on. You got, man, we just fired so many people. Everybody's stealing, double dipping.
Come on.
You know, want you to do this. You got these different children who are on different paths and got different needs and in a different place, and then you trying to be present. And then, man, it'd be a lot, man. So some days, man, you just want a day when you don't. You know what a good day for me is? When I could fix me a good drink, smoke me a cigar, and don't nobody call my phone. Don't nobody call my phone, no email, don't look for me, don't ask me, don't look for me for anything, don't need me to reply, need me to make a decision. And I don't have many good days like that, but I cherish them when I have them. So when I do have one, you think I'm trying to go, I have not watched a football game all season, and I mean that.
Yeah.
I've watched ESPN twice.
Yeah.
I don't know who's on the Panthers team. I'm just loyal to the city. I don't know nothing, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. You're in your own lane.
Bro.
Yeah.
If I get a minute to just watch a podcast uninterrupted, because Kezzy coming, or the wife got a question, or somebody hit me, man, I'm chasing retirement, bro.
What advice would you give other men on maintaining a strong marriage, particularly when those external pressures are coming at them?
The same story I use all the time. I'm going to use it here too. Daniel Stowe's Botanical Garden.
Expound on that.
I'm glad you asked.
Yes, sir.
The scriptures call it husbandry, right? And husbandry is gardening, correct?
Yeah.
So one day, my wife went through this flower spell. She loves plants and flowers. And so one day I was like, and I always get excited when I can introduce her to something that because you talking about what to get somebody for Christmas, like what she ain't never had, right? So I love when I can curate these experiences that really wow her, that are really sentimental and got some substance and some right? Some sacredness to them. So I was like, one day we're going to get a nice bottle of wine. I'm going to take it to Daniel Stowe's Botanical Garden. She was so giddy, had a little flower dress on. It was a beautiful day, bro. Yeah. Weather was perfect. Yeah. They were setting up for this Oriental display. It was probably better at night, but so we walking through and you got all these plants and everything's manicured and it's got the signs on what the plant is, and you walk into the little mist room. I mean, it's just fire. She's in honeysuckle bee heaven, right?
You did your thing.
I did my thing, bro. It didn't cost me nothing. Come on. We do the Bentleys and we go to the nice restaurants in Tuscana and all that.
This was the thought you put in that thing.
Boom.
I love that.
No, I ain't done.
I know, but I'm just seeing her. This
in
is
bliss.
Date day with her man.
In bliss, bro.
Yes,
I'm a dude from 321. That's out here at Daniel Stowe's.
Come on, Gas House.
To answer your question, and all that beauty, and all that excellence, certain ones only grow certain times of the year. Certain ones need certain sunlight. So you're watching mastery unfold. Not one time did either one of us ask to speak to the gardener. You go to a restaurant, we've done it before, and you get a phenomenal meal. You say, hey, can I speak to the chef?
I want to let him know.
Give him an extra tip. Compliments to the chef. Not one time, husbandry. Not one time did we even reach out to ask who manages late. Nor did he try to pop himself out and make himself seen. His glory as a husbandry person was in people taking inventory of that which he created. Yeah. So I say, as a father, as a husband, like I told you in the parking lot, you said, how am I doing? I said, look at my garden.
That's exactly what you said.
I said, look at my garden.
Your garden is healthy. Your garden is flourishing.
If you need to be acknowledged every day and you need kudos all the time and you need to be acknowledged and you need to be seen and you need to be addressed and you need to be affirmed and you need to be reaffirmed, and then you're a child. You're a big child. My daughter needs that. My daughter needs to be celebrated every time she parties. But a man has to know, like, yeah, this is what I designed to build. It's standing, it's growing. People love it. People honoring it. My son's getting promotions. My daughter got an apartment. My baby girl's advancing in her stuff. Dallas is advancing. I know that which I know. That's got to be enough. Otherwise, I will project that and I will bring toxic chemicals into my garden. Don't become the pesticide in your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best advice I can give. Be cool with yourself. Have more moments like this. I went and, you know what I mean, have my little getaway time where I may do 2 days in the mountains and kind of retreat or get away. But don't impose that on your family. Your family is supposed to be an extension of God, who's an extension through you. That's the best advice I would give. Take your glory and the beautification of your family. That's why I don't gotta be in every post my wife do. That's why I don't ask her to post nothing for me. That's why I don't at her unnecessarily like a lot of. If my wife posts something, know this. She has asked me for 2 weeks to send it to her. You gonna send me that video? Send me that video. I want to post. I'm like, okay, I got you. She knows she got to come back and ask me again because I want to make sure what I stand on is not riding the gravy train of that which she has produced. Taylor Talk was her idea. The book was her idea. Matter of fact, us joining accounts together back in the day was her. I'm not that kind of guy. And that's important to me because I see a lot of husbands out there that I just don't have a taste for how they rock, man. Do your thing, bring value, add value to it. I want to always be the Taylors, but it's important to me that we both, she and I, maintain our individual identity in that.
So good.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's very important. I need to become a better Kendall.
Yes,
she needs to become a better Tasia. And together we become everything God wants the Taylors to be.
This is the advice that I give to young couples. We've been dating a year. We've been dating 3 years. I say, hey, man, if you guys care about each other genuinely, as long as she's working on her and you're working on you, you guys are going to do just fine. But the moment either of you stops working on self and starts pointing fingers, you're doomed.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. I want to ask you about, you mentioned family. So growing up in that single mother, and you weren't just born to any single mother, but a very strong, very independent, very wise.
Yeah.
I mean, the sharpest of saws, a whole savage of a mom.
Yeah, she is.
Right. You're now a father and now a grandfather, as am I. How has that shaped you, and what struggles, growing up in that environment, what struggles are you drawing from now to be the best father and grandfather that you can be?
Being mindful how strong the Black woman is. Yeah, like, don't get it twisted. Me and my wife had this joke. We'd be like, I don't need you, but I want you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Understanding how instrumental the woman is to the household. Society wants us to get caught up in Birkin bags and Rolls Royces and cars and degrees, and family was family back when it was in the Garden of Eden. Family was family back when Abraham, picked his up and left. Like, we forget the essence of what it's really about. And so looking back at my mom and looking at my wife and looking at my daughter-in-law, looking at, I'm realizing how instrumental women are to our lives as men. We gotta not allow society to put us back in the cave with the caveman mentality, because number one, them days is over. And then two, Proverbs 31. That woman was hustling. That woman was out there in the streets. She was selling clothes, hustling, going to get produce, well respected at the gate. She navigated.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because it brought value to the family. And so I look at my wife and I can salute my mom because of how she did what me and my wife are doing without a Kendall. She didn't have a Kendall. She didn't have somebody bringing her flowers. She didn't have somebody walking around smacking on the butt, telling her how beautiful she is, and those low moments that I know I picked my wife up just as she's done me in my low moments. Nobody was there to pick my mom up. Nobody was there to, hey, just take the kids for this weekend. She didn't have no breaks and still figured out a way to create moments of exposure and hold us to a high standard and have a demand on our greatness.
And I would add to that, maintain her softness, right? Because a lot of women have held that role down and they just been jaded towards the world, but your mom is still She ain't to be effed with.
Yeah, that's
but
real.
she's very much a soft, kind person.
She is.
And man,
Very
honor,
gentle person.
salute to Mama Donna.
Yeah,
I
salute,
love you
salute.
and I miss you.
Hey.
And I appreciate you.
How you gonna salute my mama more than me salute my mom? I love you, ma.
I love my mama.
But
I love you,
I get to salute my mom because my mom was working at a college, man, and they were intimidated by her intellect and her ability, and so they kept preventing her from advancing. Yeah. And I was just like, yo, why don't you come over here to salute?
Yeah.
And so now she's the senior VP of operations, man, and now working remotely. She got her time to herself, gets to travel. So, you know, I'm not in a position where I can just retire, but like, you never got to work again, though it's still an ambition of me and my wife to do that for our mothers. But I was able to bring her into an environment, give her the type of pay and give her the type of love that I could in my own way. And, you know, and she gets to see her son who gave her the most problems and tested her prayer life, walking my divine purpose as well. So that's my current gift to her right now.
Well, she's been seeing that for some time, bro, because you didn't just start doing right. You've been on the right trajectory.
I'm getting there.
And
I'm getting there.
On the Men Hurt Too podcast, you opened up about the importance of men dealing with emotional pain.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to men who struggle to express their truth?
First, weigh your truth. Weigh your truth.
What are we weighing our truth against?
Scriptures, man.
Okay.
You got to weigh your truth against what God says, man. If you weigh it against what the world says, man, your scales are going to be contaminated. We are so out of pocket, man. We are so far gone. According to the scripture said, in the end days, what's right will be seen as wrong, and what's wrong will be seen as right. First, measure your right before you unleash your truth, man. Because you could get down the line, realize you're wrong, and you don't even have the ability to go back and mend that bridge. One thing we teach at Salute is when you first feel anger, frustration, first thing is say, what do I feel? Am I justified in what I feel? What do I really want? And make your next statement, your next move point you in that direction. Because here's what happens. We get, you want the affection of somebody, right? Because man, we have a hard time saying, hey, I need some affection. I need some quality time with you. You know what I'm saying? We'll be like, yo, why you always with your girls? Like, instead of saying, hey, I want some quality time with you, right?
Express.
So boom, what I feel in this moment. I feel a need for some affection. I feel a need of some attention. I feel a need of some nurturing, right? The next thing you say and do usually points you away from that which you want. That's not what we do as men.
Yeah.
Why you spend time with your girl? You act like you got to be around them all day. You act like da-da-da-da-da. It's pointing you away from that which you originally desired. Make sure your next step, make sure when you express your truth, it points you towards that which you truly want. That's why we got to investigate first. Because men are powerful, our tones, our posture, our mannerism, we can huff and puff and blow a house down. And that's not what we want. We want to salt the house. We want to smell a candle every blue moon. But usually our response is pointing towards fire. So when you say dealing with the emotional truth, man, sit down and figure out your truth first, man. Make sure that it's authentic. Make sure that it really ain't hidden behind some forgiveness you need to go seek. It's a lot of unpacking we got to do before you realize, is my truth pure? Because we hold resentment, bitterness, unforgiveness, moments that we go through things we don't grieve, we don't process. So what's your truth? It's so polluted. So that's what I say. That's what I mean when I say first, let's investigate that which we consider our truth against God's word, because that's the only barometer that's worthy to measure it up against. Not what your neighbor doing, not what your big brother do, not what how your dad handle his mom. Mirror it up against the word of God, and then figure out the best way in love and kindness and safety for those around to express your truth. Because one thing my mom always taught me, she said, son, walk in the fullness of your authority, but do no harm.
I've heard you say
walk in the fullness of your authority, but do no harm. We struggle with that.
Oh yeah.
To walk in the fullness of our authority, but do no harm.
Yeah.
That is the greatest platform for truth.
That is off balance because there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of brokenness and everything else that comes in play with that. And that hurt people, right? And so it's definitely easier said than done. Not making excuses, because that should be. the way to go. Walk in fullness of your authority, but do no harm.
We're supposed to be protectors, but we deduce and lower ourselves to only that which if a robber comes into the house. What about emotional protectors? What about psychological protectors? Right? What about mental health protectors?
You're stepping on my toes, so I know you're stepping on some more toes.
I got 13s.
Hey.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, when we talk about being men that protect our women and our children, we gotta level up. I only learned this through my mistakes. These are my mistakes, man, not knowing how to be an emotional protector for my wife, who's a very gentle spirit. Not weak, but very gentle spirit. I failed so many times, not reading the room, not realizing I don't need to say this right now. I'm gonna say it, but I don't need to say it right now. And when I do say it
in this way,
I need to say it in a different way, because sometimes we don't have the patience. Sometimes we lack the patience to be protective.
Cook up, bro.
We lack the patience and the sophisticated eloquence and finesse to lead a woman.
Her love language goes out the window in that moment.
Man, her love language, she might go out the window. She done jumped out the window because you the fire.
Yeah.
You the fire.
That's
and she done jumped out the window to save herself.
Yeah.
Many times my wife done jumped out the window emotionally, man, because I'm a blazing, raging fire. I had to learn, man, nah, man, no. Maybe not now. When I do, is it the right timing? What else is going on? And we don't really want to do all that work, man. I just want to say what I got to say and get on.
And I want you to comprehend and understand it. Empathize with me for one moment.
Man.
Yeah. Nah, I get you.
Don't work like that.
I get you.
Don't work like that.
Growth is work, man. And this is why a lot of times in a lot of different ways, we as men don't want to grow because we realize the work that it takes.
Yeah, because, I had to be careful I say that.
Yeah, please. Do no harm, KT.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
This is so good. God, this is good.
Doing things prematurely, thoughtlessness, and a lack of social awareness feels good. In the moment, it feels good. It feels good to say what you got to say and get it off your chest. It feels good to let somebody know how you feel. It feels good to defend yourself in the same way. In the moment, it's a high, it's a rush to you. And then you deal with the side effects. It's like any other drug, any other endorphin. It feels good in that moment, man. And so personal growth and self-development is not as attractive to men because it's not comfortable. And we live in a society now where men want to be comfortable all the time. We want to be comfortable. We want to pacify things. We want to be emotional about things. What happened to the old head, the OG, the uncle, the grandfather, man, who said less when he did speak, the room shook and stood still, who didn't complain, who hands was, and I'm not saying we got to go, because we live in a very intellectual society, man, but it has also made us weak as men. We live in a time now where everybody's got a platform. You used to have to earn a platform. You used to have to do something that was it was so dynamic that it was worthy of getting the public's ear. Now you just need a username and login.
That's real.
We don't have to earn anything anymore, man. We don't have to, and so it trains, we want everything microwave. We want everything instant message. We want everything TikTok to us. Our attention span is getting cut by the minute. So when you talk about suffering, patience, deferred gratification, sacrifice, those are becoming lost terms, man. But they're the essence of manhood.
Yeah.
They're the essence of manhood. We're losing the ability to be men because we want everything right now. We don't want to work for it. We just want to cut on the lights and cut one of these on and just get rich. We don't even want to learn the financial literacy stuff that's going to help us maintain that which we have earned. We just want everything handed to us, and that's not manhood. We supposed to hunt. We supposed to scout. We supposed to go get the lay of the land. We supposed to do due diligence. We supposed to talk about it around the campfire. We supposed to keep up a strategy, and then we supposed to go out there and go get it and take it, and then be prepared to defend. Nah, everything now is
distractions. Yeah,
that's it. Manhood is now resting between two thumbs.
Yeah,
And that's scary to me.
And so you have people who should be turning on a camera who are more busy doing the work on themselves or fooling themselves to think they're doing the work on themselves, but they don't have a desire to get on camera, versus the people who, as you say, everybody's got a platform now, who want to be on camera but ain't saying a dang on thing.
I hate that I sold drugs, but I'm glad I did it in a Polaroid era.
Yeah.
Because when nobody out there with the guns and, hey, y'all hold on.
Yeah.
Nah, hold your gun up a little higher.
Yeah.
I came up in the era where it wasn't about cameras.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about cameras. I can't, we watched Godfather when dude came to the wedding with the camera. He took that camera and smashed it down. He said, yo, we don't take pictures of this. Now you take pictures of everything because you want to be seen, man. Nothing's off. No, I can't say nothing. That's a bold statement. I hope y'all get what I'm saying. But we're losing our authenticity, man, because we're doing everything for show. Do it because you like to do it. Do it because it needs to be done. Do it because you believe in it. Do it because it's necessary. Do it because you have the capacity and the desire and the propensity to do it. Don't do it because you want to be seen doing it. Straight up.
Or because you saw somebody else doing it. That's not your path.
Yeah, that word camera just triggered me, man, because I don't do the cameras. Like, I have to get out there a little bit more next year because the team is like getting irritated with me to push the mission, man. But if I could find a way to advance Salute First without social media, I would do it. I really would do it. And I've done pretty good thus far, but it's not about me. It's not about us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to get out there more. But man, I don't care for.
This sound familiar to you?
This stuff.
Unfortunately, social media is almost the only way to get your message out anymore. And like you said, it's
a necessary evil.
It's a necessary platform.
It's a necessary evil.
It's not necessarily the best platform.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of reading on the internet. People don't write well anymore. The editors don't edit well anymore.
Now you got chat.
There's no.
Yeah. You only got to learn the art from of it, and you can put something stupid out there, chat, make it sound good. It's like, the vibration.
You know the right prompt. Yeah.
And that quality spreads across everything if nobody's checking it for the important thing.
But if they pull the plug, how dumb are we?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But if somebody decides to pull the plug, you can't run a cash. It's like you go to a restaurant or a grocery store, sometimes the cash register be down.
Struggling with
man,
them 37
I will hustle you out of your whole drawer.
37
I'm about to hustle you out of your, and I got some quarters on me. If I got 100 or 20 or 10 or some quarters, I ain't bought nothing but a pack of gum.
Have you ever had a cashier ask you how much are you supposed to get?
How much I'm supposed to get? I don't work here. How much I'm supposed to?
I know I gave you a 20, but you supposed to give me 47.
No, you know what I said. How much I'm supposed to give you? How much I'm supposed to give you? Like that's the side effect of technology. It advances and it's whatever. Yeah. But if somebody pulled a plug one day, man, we're in bad shape.
Casey, let me ask you, what's your long-term vision for the impact that you want to make on men's leadership and well-being?
End game of Salute First is creating better fathers. And you look back at most of the things that plague our country, comes back to a father. If I govern my house by the laws and the statutes and commandments of the Lord, and I'm present and I'm attentive and I rear my children and I love my children and I invest in my children and I support and I shepherd and disciple my children, and my neighbor does the same thing.
That's it.
And my neighbor does the same thing. That's how you change the world. It comes back to a father. So what we're in essence trying to do is, with the returning citizens, redeem them as fathers, and with the youth, position them to be better fathers. That's the end game. That's checkmate. Why? Because the Bible is about what? A father
and a son.
And a son.
That's right.
And that's what it boils down to.
Last question, brother. How would you like to be remembered as both a businessman as a man?
As a man, I just want to be remembered as I want to be remembered as a man who stood on his principles, a man who truly loved God. And I demonstrated that love in my actions, my words, and my deeds. As a businessman, I want to be remembered as a man who loved God and demonstrated through his business actions, words, and deeds.
It's not always the easiest when darts are just coming from everywhere.
If you catch what I just said, it is the most challenging life a man could live.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to do I have a pretty decent brain.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to do something unethical, unrighteous, I could probably be halfway to a billy. If I wanted to move and advance in a way that didn't care about people and their needs, but only the dollar signs, I would have retired 6 times ago. When you follow the Most High, the climb is so much more steep and rigid because you can't use the same equipment that the world uses. But when you get to the top, the view is more pure.
Yeah.
And peaceful. And so me and my wife say that all the time. We don't attack those who attack us. We just started like with a big lawsuit because the money was so big. We've had people steal from us so much, man. We just like, yo, God to give it back. You know, we don't go out on social media and blow you up, use our platform to tear you down. They know who we talking about.
Yeah, you could, absolutely.
It's a different form of trekking when you do it by the commandments. And so when I say that, it's fully loaded. I want it to be that I finished at the end, man, and I got nobody I owe. I got nobody I've stolen from, even in the streets. I never robbed anybody. You dig what I'm saying? I never sold a bag that was light. I never sold wet work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk about people. I don't gossip about people. I don't try to underhand somebody's business. I want to be known as a man who loved the Lord. And he demonstrated that in all his actions, words, and deeds. That encompasses my wife, my kids, my family, my business, my friends, and that which only me and God know. That's what I want to be remembered for, because that's more challenging than just having 20 million. You can get 20 million tomorrow. I can go out here and do something online and be as goofy as I want to be. They would love to see me do something goofy.
I promise you.
I would trend in my boxes.
Guarantee.
But that ain't who I am.
Guarantee.
So yeah, that's what I want to be known for. Because that's what I want the legacy from. That's something my sons can hold on to.
Yeah.
That's something my grandsons can hold on to. All this other stuff, man, it's a vapor.
Bro, I want to say that I mean this. I've watched you not change who you are at a core level, no matter what room you went into. And I saw you. I'm about to get emotional. But I saw you, I met you with nothing.
Nothing.
And I've bragged about you more times than I have toes and fingers, because you are one of my most disciplined friends. And I know that it has not been easy for you. And to feel that betrayal from people who you've put trust in, I know that has not been easy for you. And I'll be honest with you, man. This is a platform that's all about vulnerability, and I thank you for the gift of your vulnerability. I think I may have told you this before. I definitely have felt this way in my own insecurities. I think I've said this to you before. I didn't want to bring certain stuff to you because I don't want to be responsible for pulling you down. But I can genuinely say, bro, that there have been seasons in my life where I didn't know which way to go. And I've reached out to you and you have poured when you didn't have to. And so I really appreciate you, man, because in this space, I would have never guessed 20 years ago that you wouldn't have guessed 20 years ago that we would be in this manhood space. And when called to lead real men, You can't go if you haven't been pruned, forged, and cut on, man, and continuously cut on. And so I'm in that season of awareness where, man, I've got a lot more cutting that needs to be done if I'm going to become who I'm called to be. And just the awareness of that, it can be daunting, right? Because what you alluded to before is that the uncomfort of growth. And so I just want to give you your flowers, man, and say I salute you for the work that you've done, the winter seasons, as you refer to oftentimes. KT, the guys are getting together, going to the movies. KT, we getting together playing spades. KT, I got tickets to the Panthers game. You want to go with me?
I used to be like I'm in the winter season.
KT, what do you mean winter season? It's 70 degrees outside. It's not winter. And now we're seeing the roots were necessary to grow strong and wide. And now we're starting to see the bamboo, right? And so, man, I just want you to know, man, that no matter how high you go or no matter how low you go, I'm still right here with you.
I know that for a fact.
I'm doing my best to grow and run so I can run with you. But I need you to not slow down for me to catch up. Because
that's a bar.
Because not many people can speak to me from where you are that I know. So I appreciate you, bro.
Love you, bro.
I love you.
I love you, man.
You're my man.
Hey, last out, man, like what you gotta realize is, man, I was coming out the underworld, man.
Yeah.
You know, trafficking drugs and doing what I was doing. And when I decided to give my life to Christ and I first came to Charlotte, man, and joined New Birth, man, if you'd have known, not like in the streets, I felt fearless, not feared. I felt fearless.
Yeah.
I knew I could draw.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm joining a church and I'm in an unknown territory. And it's a mega church too. There's people everywhere, man. I don't know. I just know I'm trying, God. I'm trying, and I see Damon. And he just lit up like he knew me. He's like, "What's up, bro? What's your name?" And I was like, "Yo, man, my name Kendall." It was one of the first times I went by my government name. I said, "My name's Kendall, man." And he put his arm around me and showed me around and constantly made sure I was okay. That transition period was very sentimental in my life, bro, because I was in foreign territory. I was home, but I also felt like a foreigner. And you helped me realize that I'm home. And that right there, man, to me was the beginning because I was going through my identity crisis. And so I always will be there, bro. It's a judge-free zone. I'm proud of you because I know the struggles they have gone, you know, with getting this lifted. And just be okay with your winter seasons, bro. They not supposed to be comfortable, and you're going to always have them. Don't get this twisted because me and my wife make the aesthetics look good. We almost live in a winter season. But that's just something dying and something else is going to grow, and something is dying and something else is going to grow. When we get comfortable with dying, those who follow me and lay down their life, those who follow me and lay down their life, then we realize what this thing is really about, man. As long as you keep Christ at the focus, man, you'll be surprised at what he do with your death. You'll be very surprised what he do with your death. Just don't fear dying, man, in that sense. Don't fear dying, bro.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised what he do with your death. That's what he really looking for. He don't want us to live. He wants to live in and through us, but we keep trying to hold on to. That's right. I just done lost so much. I'm tired of fighting, man. I just be like, here. You know what I'm saying?
I can about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm right here for you, bro. Like I said, I don't got to be there for all the celebratory time. You pop bottles on anybody when it gets dark and them corners start drawing in and they start getting real narrow. That's when I want to be there. I don't want to be there when everybody else there. Like that's crowded. But when ain't nobody there, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Where can people find you, man?
Oh yeah, that part again. www.salutefirst.com. That's the LLC. That's what we create, that which we create. And very proud of our nonprofit 501c3. That's Salute Global. www.saluteglobal.org. We out here doing the work. We on the front lines. That's it. That's all, man. We just like doing the work.
Awesome. I love it, man.
Hey, it's all right, boy.
Hey, thank you for tuning in to this moment. This has been a moment. And to all the men who are listening, just be present. Be present, be engaged, keep the conversations going. Bro, can we talk?
In the bag, man.
Yes, sir.
In the bag, bro.
I'm cooked up.
In the bag, man. I'm proud of you, bro. You gotta walk this dog, man. And not give up, man. You gotta understand, man. I did this 7 years, man, if I ain't got a check. Don't get it twisted, man. I've been growing the organization and paying my team. I'm just about to drop my first paycheck. Money came in, I paid my team. Money came in, I paid my license. Money came in, I paid my insurance. Money came in, I took care of my flights, our hotels. I'm just now about to draw my first check, bro. But my team is straight.
That's honorable.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's the mission. I don't care them behind the scenes joint, but it's the mission, bro.